Hello and welcome to XR Today. My name is David Dungay. Today I am joined by Frank Fenari, CEO of ARU VR. Welcome to the show, Frank. How are you?
Hi, David. Thanks for having me. I'm very well, thank you.
Fantastic. So today we're going to be talking about filling the AR and VR skills gap in the enterprise level and what some of those enterprise customers can really do when it comes to their learning and development. But before we get into that conversation, Frank, do you want to give us a bit of an introduction to yourself and the business?
Sure, David. So I'm the CEO and founder of RUVR, which is a company that has been into the market for the past 5 years, and we are leading the learning and development XR deployment into major corporates around the world.
Fantastic. So let's start with a few tech adoption trends, Frank. What are the big tech adoption trends that you're seeing when it comes to learning and development today?
Sure. I mean, I can mention here a couple of reports that recently has been launched into the market from an L&D from the L&D sector. The first one is Mind Tools, which they released an L&D organization reflecting on 20 years of research. On their research, they have showed that e-learning adoption has been growing primarily in the past 7 years. Instead, the face-to-face learning has decreased, essentially, right? So that's what they show in the past 7 years. But then the other research from Fostway, which is Digital Learning Realities 2023, reported that learners instead want to do more face-to-face learning instead of e-learning. Why is that then, right? Because we all know the answers, because e-learning doesn't work. E-learning, it's very efficient from a financial point of view, but when it comes from acquiring the knowledge to do your job, it's not efficient, because e-learning is, broadly talking, it's not engaged, it's most passive. People learn by watching, and also provide very limited data to the trainers at the end of the word. So this is what is happening currently into the L&D sector, and we are trying to solve those challenges by introducing a new model called Blended Learning 3.0, which is a combination of face-to-face, digital content, and XR content. Now, the mix of all these three pillars create such a strong program which provide amazing benefits to the end user. So it's not about just the tech itself, it's about what are the trends that enterprises are adopting, are challenging in these days.
Yeah, well, maybe let's talk about some of that adoption. I mean, it sounds like there you've got a really good mix of in-person, XR, and VR, which is really great to hear. But I mean, I'm really interested in the role of the training and upskilling, and how that is working, how that works itself into the adoption of VR and AR itself, and what's going on there.
That's a really good question, and really important to understand that. Even recently, the World Economic Forum reports that 66% of the American companies over the next 4 years are planning to adopt these technologies in their companies, right? But the problem is that XR adoption itself has got big challenges and problems, which we can categorize into, let's say, micro categories. One is the content creation. So creating content, XR content, it's really time consuming, it requires special skills, lots of cost as well, and then it's harder to keep up to date. But then the other set of challenges, it's the content consumption. So how the user consume, what is the user experience of those content? And even here, XR has got some challenges to solve, which is all around how you're going to interact with those people, right? Because if you wear one of those goggles, you trainer, you lose them, right? You cannot guide, you cannot interact. And then more importantly as well, it's you cannot ask to enterprises to buy 10,000 VR headsets overnight, right? That is unrealistic. So therefore, we cannot expect that enterprises from all sorts of sectors will have in-house Unity developers, XR producer, 3D artists, that is, again, a dream. They cannot employ those people, even because they got headcounts and all sorts of things. So this is what we have solved. So thanks to our platform, we have democratized both the XR content creation and the user consumption of those content. In fact, enterprises can now create XR-based curricula on the fly, right? A learner can consume those content not only using the goggles, but more importantly, they can also consume this AR and VR content using their personal devices, such as PC, phones, and tablet. So the fundamental thing here is that enterprises still need to have L&D people located to this XR workstream. So even if with our technology, we empower, we enable anyone to use this technology, but still we need some commitment from the L&D people to work on this work stream. It cannot be an extra responsibility on top of the existing main job responsibility.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, Frank, you've touched on it already a little bit there, but I want to get your kind of view on, what the AR, VR skills gap means to you, and why is it important businesses address this, now?
Well, we know, David, that every single company from every single organization is going through a transformation, right? There is this digital transformation which within an enterprise touch all sort of different operations and teams. Now, when we look at these transformation programs, every company does in a different way because it depends on their maturity of both from a technology point of view, but also from a technical point of view, right? So it's really hard to broaden this conversation. However, the XR technologies has been around for a while now. Personally, I've been involved since 1995. But I can tell you that it's only in the past year or so that enterprises have now all the solutions in their hands, on their table. They've got very cost-effective hardware, they got software, and they got the ROI proves that XR is the king enabler for learning and development. So there are no excuses, to don't use this technology. But then why so not many organizations are deploying this technology at scale? Because we have got a problem into the knowledge, into the culture. So we need to have a tech culture shift. So there are some lack of awareness and knowledge about XR.
Yeah, there's it also highlights the humongous opportunity for the industry as well, which is great. So I mean, there'll be a lot of business owners and people working in businesses watching today, Frank, who are thinking, I know I need to get some more skills in my business. I've got some staff in my learning and development team that I'd like to furnish with these kind of AR and VR skills. What should they really be thinking about? Before sending staff away and to learn this knowledge and to upskill their people. What should they really think about before doing that?
So exactly as you mentioned, the majority of the biggest enterprises has got an in-house team that create digital content, primarily e-learning, essentially. But even themselves, they are facing multiple challenges, these companies, because they need a way to retain those people, they need a way to motivate those people, and they find it really difficult to provide a strong career development for those teams. In fact, they cannot transform graphic designers in 3D artists, for example, or instructor designers into Unity developers. It's impossible to transform this type of people in such, a completely different type of jobs. So this is why ArgueVR platform is leading the L&D deployment into enterprises, because we can let current in-house team to become XR specialists without changing their DNA, right, of their job. We simply need to provide the basics knowledge of XR, and they will be able to become a pro in a couple of days. So therefore, enterprises needs to provide some sort of XR for Dummies, right, course to upskill and to empower the people at scale, right? So this is a fundamental thing that needs to happen if we want to democratize, if we want to adopt this technology in our day-to-day business.
Excellent. So we're coming towards the end of the conversation, Frank. But before we go, maybe you could tell us a little bit more. You've been peppering the conversation with, some things ARU VR are doing around the training. But maybe you could talk a little bit more about that. Summarise some of the things you're doing around training at the moment that will obviously help accelerate this AR and VR adoption generally, and then maybe tell people where they can go to learn a little bit more about your business.
So adoption, in order to increase the adoption, there are many things that can be done. I'll give you an example. Meta is already collaborating with 15 universities across the States. And along with Meta, RUVR has been leading the change on AR and VR training for major multinational companies like Five Guys, BT, Coca-Cola, Neon, Bloomberg, and many others. So we provide to our clients with a full immersion XR program to upskill their people. So not only we provided the software and the tools and the whole equipment that they need to roll out this technology, but also we empower them. RUVR enables and empowers the end user to become XR hero in minutes. But one of the fundamental challenges that enterprises has got is that currently there isn't a third-party body which can release a certificate on XR. And this is what we are trying to work and to fix with a major university. We will be launching a certification course for XR where company can send their people to gain that knowledge and then to apply them within the organization and start getting the strong ROI that this technology can provide. So upskilling the current people, it's an important task, but also it's far more important to choose the right program, which unfortunately today there isn't any major certification body in our industry. RUVR is actively fighting to remove barriers to empowering the global force. XR learning, no matter the subject, can become a tour de force capable of upskilling works and resolving the employment skill set crisis. So this is our mission, both from using our technology and using our knowledge, because if we don't fill that gap, we can have the best hardware, the best software, the best proof point, but guess what? Going back to my experiment, only 2 people knew what this is all about. So we needed to evangelize these technology, these programs, more and more into an enterprise. And we cannot do alone. We need institutions. We need companies in this field. So this technology is there. It's already there. So we don't need to invent new things or something extra to be effective. It's already there. We just need to get people knows about this technology.
Yeah, absolutely. This opportunity is, as you say, it's here and now. And there's a great point actually about the certification as well. Sending your people to learn, you can learn in lots of different places, but having an officially, rubber stamped kind of certification is really, really important for the development of your people and staff as well. So, Frank, that's a really, really fascinating conversation. Unfortunately, that is all we have time for, but thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you for your time, David.
And thank you for watching. You've been watching me, David Dungay, on XR Today. If you liked today's conversation, please give us a like and a share on social media. That's it from me. See you next time.